Hi guys, how you doing? Ooh, hands up if you're gold. Oh, here's the poppers. Hi Miss Maddie. Rach, Jane, Jen, Kate. I'm not new to follow but new for lives. Excellent. Hi Kate. Living in Maine. Is it cold in Maine? Oh, Maine gets a lot of snow, doesn't it? Hi Boo Boo. Say hello. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Whoa, what a good boy. Whoa, whoa, what a good boy. Yes, you are. You're a good boy. Yeah. Yes, you are. What a good boy. Yeah, me too, Jane. -10 here. But oh, no, it might not be a bit warmer where you are because you've all had snow down there as well, haven't you? Hi. Yes. Scooby likes the snow. Oh, well. I'm just going to play in my journal today because it's the beginning of the month, so it's journal play day, right? You haven't got any snow where you are. Oh, right, Rachel's had some down in Brighton. Aren't you in Essex? We've got loads of it. Won't bloody go away. Keeps falling like icing sugar. It's the cold equivalent of drizzle. Right, so you're going to play my journal today. Look at this, what I have got. Isn't this gorgeous? Now, this is a birthday present. It's beautiful. I love this. I love this. The cover's nice. The paper is lovely. It's like the old, you know, the old moleskin sketchbook paper, the proper paper that you used to get. The like really ivory. It's beautiful. It takes fountain pen and everything. It's gorgeous. However, I'm never going to use it because it's not the size that I use. I don't use A4. Never have. Almost certainly never will. I can pretty much guarantee. I've already got a moleskin this size and I never use it. So I can pretty much guarantee that I'm never, ever going to use this as it is. So, thank you, Cody. Hey, Chloe. Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee I'm not going to use this as it is. Which is a shame, but I'd rather... This is the question that I know a lot of people deal with. A lot of people deal with the dilemma of this. Oh, it's a Killstar one. I like Killstar. If this was A5, I would absolutely use it as it is, without question. The only problem would be what to use it for. And I would definitely use it. But it's A4, and I simply do not use A4. I hate A4. It's too big. I could get away with it if it was that tall. So I've got a few options. I could cut it down to that size, couldn't I? And move these. Or I could take the whole thing apart and rebind it as a book that I will use. And I'm thinking that that's what I might do. Because I can make one A5 or even one double thickness A5 or two thin A5s out of this one book. I'm not overly stoked on this cover. It feels like silicone, and I'm not in love with the cover. So I could use something different to cover it with, and perhaps make two books. And then I've got all this paper that I can cut down to, or fold in half and make it A5. I can use an A5 book easy, but I can't use an A4 book. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to MacGyver this into A5 books. Yes, I am. I'm going to give you a lesson in it's better to pull this apart and turn it into something you love and will use than it is to say, oh, well, it's beautiful and it's far too precious to change, but I'm never going to use it, so I'll put it on a shelf. It's no use to you on a shelf. It's not being appreciated on a shelf. It's pointless on a shelf. But if I take it apart, I can use the insides, the covers, and these metal bits. I was actually just looking to see if these would go with my Alice in Wonderland book, but they don't. They're the wrong colour. They're gunmetal grey. If they were brass, I could use them on my Alice in Wonderland book. But unfortunately, they don't work. So I'm thinking what I might do is, because this paper is gorgeous, if I use this paper and mix it with the paper from these books and some vintage papers and printed papers and all sorts of stuff, I can get maybe the rest of my year's worth of junk journals out of this, and then I can use these bits on the front of the covers, because when I've done 3 of these, I've taken March out because January is pretty chunky and so is February, so ignore that one because that's my notebook. Once I've done 3 of these, that's going to be enough to make a bound book, so it's basically going to be that big. So I can reuse the covers, reuse this. I've also got a spare cover, I think, a spare A5 cover in this fabric. Although I'm not in love with this fabric, I have a spare cover in this that I could use for the backs, because if I take this off and I cut that down, I've got 2 fronts and a spare plate. And these plates I've just checked and they're really unusual. They're very high quality ones. They're actually, if you look here, because I couldn't work out why they had circles, and I thought maybe they'd been punched through and flattened, in which case you couldn't do anything with them, you couldn't reuse them. But these are post bound. This comes off. So you drill a hole through, you put that in, you put this in, and that's it. That's all you got to do, is reposition them. But I only need to take the one off the middle if I cut this in half. So if I take this off and cut this off, I've got one front cover there and I've got a front cover there. And I've also got a back cover there and a back cover there. And because I've got a separate book like this in the same size, I can also put that on that book, and then I've got 3 books. 3 covers. You've got one that's even bigger than A4 and never used it because it's far too big. Yep, cut it up. Use it for something that you will use. Because I know I'll use this paper. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous paper. Look at this. I tried my big, thick, chunky fountain pen on it. Didn't even ghost, let alone bleed. No feathering, no nothing. It's going to be gorgeous to write on and sketch on and draw on. And it's like, I think it's like 192 pages. So by the time you folded that in half, that's a lot of paper. So that's what I'm going to do. Instead of sitting a beautiful book on my desk or on my shelf and never using it, even though it's got gorgeous paper in it, I'm going to pull it apart and turn it into several books. Not today, but that's what I'm going to do. It's from my sister. I'm sure she won't mind. She doesn't care what I do. Just going to grab my trimmer. Look what I found about my trimmer. I didn't know this worked. Look, it looks like a perfectly ordinary trimmer, and then, oh! I didn't know that. My old one didn't have that. It had a stupid piece that pulled out this way, like a tape measure. Anyway, let's do some playtime. So it's February. I'm still working on January. I've done quite a bit in January. I'm nearly finished January. I've got to write up my birthday stuff. I'm going to do I've got a drawing I'm working on that I want to do in here. I put in the junk journal January prompts because I thought I might do them for February instead of January. Or I might tick off the ones that I've done in January and then do the rest in February. Because I've done some simply by happenstance. Picture of my journal being very chunky. I love this, it's so funny. It says, "You can wear your fancy attire all you want, Marie. I'm wearing the scuba suit and that's final." I love it. I think I need to turn my brightness back up. Hang on. There we go. Is that better? I turned it down earlier because I was painting. Just playing in your new planners. Yep. Play. Grab a journal. Grab a something. Hi. So I am going to finish January. I've only got a couple of pages to do. But, you know, it's February now. So I think we need to start February. Get it going a little bit. I've got some bits and pieces here that I've shoved in here that I know I want to use. I thought I might do a front page. It got wet. I don't know how it got wet, but it got wet. Mildly annoying, but not the end of the world. This is our embroidery design for our Wheel of the Year. In our Stitch and Witch tomorrow in class, this is what we're doing. But it's not going to be all embroidery, it's going to be mixed media embroidery. I know, right? So, I want to do a front page. I've also got this. I want to use this for Imulk. I'm pretty much sure that for the Imulk pages it's going to be these and probably that one. She reminds me, she's kind of Bridget feeling, so I think it's definitely going to be there. So I'm thinking maybe I'll put this on here for Imulk. Which means I've got these two pages at the front to play with as kind of an intro 1st of February type thing. So, shall I put that on there? Yeah, I think I will. And I think I do it near the edge, but not too close. I can just staple it together. Yeah. Mitz! Hi! Don't see you very often on the lives. You're like crazy time zone oppositeness. How you doing? I quite like that. I can bend that up and right there, but I can also use that as a tuck spot if I want to. Okay, so this is going to be February, and I've got these. These are from Flow magazine. But again, they're quite appropriate for the weather. I thought, I've already scanned these so that I can reprint them. Because of course I have. 1:15 AM where you are. Ah, Hobonichiing. Cool. Okay, so I think I want these. Those. And I might have this one for my birthday. Yeah. So this one. And this one are going back into January. Because I've got my where should I put that one? I've got something there already. Let's fussy cut it. And look at this image, guys. Like, I hear a lot of you saying, oh, I love to draw. I can't draw. I can't draw. Everybody can draw. Some people can only draw like a 5-year-old. Okay? But look at this image. Look at that wine glass. Don't tell me you couldn't draw that. It's drawn in wax crayon, for heaven's sake. And yet you look at this in a book like Flow and you go, oh, that's pretty, and you cut it out and stick it in your journal. So don't let me hear you that you can't draw, okay? I don't want to hear it. Everybody can draw. Need to check the last video. My mum came over during class to celebrate your birthday. Oh, was it your birthday as well, Cody? I didn't know yours was same week as mine. Was it yesterday? Happy birthday. How did I not know it was your birthday? Hey, Luna. Actually, I think I'll put that there. And then I want to put this, because I want to do a write-up about my book. I want to take some photos of my book and put that in my journal, of course, my Alice in Wonderland. So I'll do some beauty shots of that. But I thought this would be really cool. It's kind of like a junk journal image, actually. Thought maybe I could pop it there, and then it ties my junk journal in with my Alice in Wonderland book. Overlap it a bit there. Oh, your birthday's today! Oh, happy birthday! I didn't realise it was today. Why didn't I not realise your birthday was today? I'm usually pretty good at remembering people's birthdays that are near mine. How did I not know yours was today? Anyway, happy birthday. And happy birthday, Pink Pearl Smets, for yesterday, I believe. I can't remember if it was yesterday or Wednesday. It's either 1 or 2 days after mine. Yeah, I like that. I like that image. That's cool. Okay. So February, it's bloody cold. Bloody cold. So our week has consisted of sitting around the fire, or in this case around the radiator. Man, I miss my open fire. Sorry, am I off camera? You have an open fire, but it's boarded up. No, sledgehammer it. Although you've probably got roosters in the roof, in the chimney by now. You'd have to get your chimney swept. No, but the heat. You have a journal, it's so beautiful you can't use it. See, there's a problem. Nothing is too beautiful to use. Especially because books, journals, notebooks, they're not ornaments. They're not meant to sit on a bookshelf. I bet it's sat on a bookshelf or in a drawer or in a cupboard or somewhere, and you hardly ever take it out and look at it. Wouldn't it be better to have it out where you can write in it? Even if you only write in it occasionally, maybe you could have keep something special in it. Only write in it on special days like birthdays and family gatherings, or stuff like that. Special memories. Something like that. Turn it into something even more beautiful. A blank notebook, no matter how beautiful it is just a blank notebook. And that means that there are how many hundreds of people have got exactly the same notebook? So it might be beautiful, but it's not unique. If you start writing in it and putting pictures in it, even if that's all you do, even if all you did was put a beautiful picture on each page, then you've made your book completely unique, which makes it more beautiful than it is now. So a journal is should never be, or you should never feel like a journal is too beautiful to use. If it's beautiful, just think about how much more beautiful it's going to be when it's full. Because even if you're like, oh, well, I don't like my writing and I write about boring stuff and I'm not very good at drawing and this, that and the other, my photographs are rubbish, blah, 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 all the excuses we come up with. Even if that's the case, no matter what crap you write in your journal, I can assure you, once it's full, you'll be so proud of having finished it There you go, a book journal, perfect. And if it really is that special, only write about books that you really love. You know, take a photo of the cover or write about the author as well, or whatever. Write about the book that you enjoyed or the book that you didn't enjoy. It's a perfect idea. And then it'll turn into something really beautiful. One day I'll be dead and wish I'd written in that pretty book, and my ghost hands can't hold a pen. So I write in everything now. Exactly, Luna. That's how I feel. What's the point of having... I'm not one of these people who has good china or a best dress. If I've got a nice dress, I'm going to wear it. If I've got good china, I'm going to use it. What's the worst that can happen? It breaks. Well, isn't having it get broken while being used and loved better than having it stuck in a cupboard, never being looked at, never being used for its purpose, never being appreciated because it's too good to use? I'd much rather use it and then have it, you know, maybe break after 3 years of use or accidentally drop it or whatever, than have it shoved in a cupboard where one day, like Luna says, I'll be dead and somebody will come in. You know, I don't have any kids. I've got a mum and dad, but, you know, you kind of assume that your mum and dad are going to go before you do. So that only leaves my sister. My sister wouldn't want any of my crap. I can tell you that now. So what's going to happen to it? It's not going to end up in a junk shop for somebody else to look at and use. Somebody else like us will come along and go, "Ooh, that's pretty." That kind of looks weird with the steam coming out of the top. I might have to chop the steam off and just draw it in. Why does my music keep stopping? As soon as I've written in or coloured or pasted or whatever in a book, I love it 100 times more. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely adore my Alice in Wonderland journal, but I love it even more the fact that I know somewhere at the back is a page that I threw candle wax all over. Because now I'm not afraid of messing it up. Not that I was in the first place, but I'm absolutely not afraid of messing it up now because it's already got candle wax all over it. How bad can it get? Oh, I need to refilm the quiet version, the one that's not going to be an hour and a half long of me talking. So Anna can put it on her channel. Because I can't use my book until I've refilmed. And I keep going, oh, I think I'll work it. Oh, I can't work in my journal. Can't work in it yet. Can't work in it yet. And I keep finding all this cool stuff I want to put in it. Can't work in it yet because I haven't finished filming it. Might do that tonight, actually, when I've finished here. I might straight away do a new video of it. It's only going to be a book flip. It's not going to be terribly exciting. But I need to do one that isn't an hour and a half long. Okay, so we've got boots. We get little doggo in their coats. Hot coffee. got my big light on there. Yeah, there we go. Couldn't work out why it felt grey in here. It's because I didn't have my yellow light on. Oh. Okay, so February, bloody cold is what February is. Not sure where I'm going to put those yet. I might have to take this book out, it won't lie flat. The only thing about these thick journals, they're very difficult to work in if you don't take them out, because they're too thick. Okay. I think I kind of want to do a front page there for February. I don't know. Do I? What else have I got in here? That's the Bridget Cross. That's for Pisces. Nice little image there with two fishes on it. Thought I'd use that for Pisces. This is just some extra paper from the band that I used. Got these. I thought those would be nice for spring, and then of course the Arctic weather came in, so I can't use those yet. This would be quite nice, but it implies warmer weather, and we don't have warmer weather right now. I wouldn't normally fussy cut this, but it's got writing on it, so I'm going to get rid of the writing. That's Christmas song. Okay, what the hell is going on with this now? This video is paused. Are you sure you want to continue? Why are you doing this to me? Stop it. Let's not have Christmas music. Woke up to -6 yesterday with a feel of -9. Yeah, same. Manchester had loads. Yeah, I'm just south of Manchester. We've had loads. It's basically started snowing on my birthday, and then it just kept going. But it wasn't like heavy snow. It wasn't like blizzards like we usually have. It was like ice and sugar. So you didn't realise how thick and heavy it was coming down until you went out, and then, you know, there was like 4 inches of snow on the floor. What's going on? No, I didn't think about what was on the back of there, did I? Never mind. Maddie! What you doing? Where am I going to put that one? Maybe I'll put it here. Yeah. That'll look okay. I like that. Maddie keeps whining because she wants to go out and play in the snow, but it's too cold. Our wind chill is hovering between -10 and -14 at the moment, which is nowhere near the -52 that somebody posted about yesterday in Wisconsin, but it's still a hell of a lot colder than I want it to be. And we got down to -10, real -10. Hi, Di. We got real -10 the other day, which is unheard of. We don't have double figures in negatives. Our standard weather is -8 through to maybe -28, 29 in the summer. This year we had 34 in the summer and minus 14. Oof. It's not funny. Chicago had minus 40, yeah. DIY Sarah posted minus 52. Yeah, I can't even imagine that cold. And of course Canada's just wandering around going, that's nothing. It's minus 70 up here. The thing is, they're all prepared for it. They've all got ski outfits and thermals and stuff. We don't have that. Your boiler is packed up. Oh no, Di. I hope you can get somebody out to it. It's not just frozen on the outside, is it? Is it a condenser boiler or is it an old boiler? Is it the old immersion heater boilers or is it a condenser? You don't know what snow is, do you, Cody? You know when you open the freezer and there's all that white stuff? That's snow. If you've got a condenser one and you can get to the outside of it, look for the external pipe and pour a kettle of water over it and see if it unthaws. It might be frozen up. That happened to mine the other day. I had to pour a kettle of water over it to unfreeze it. It's worth a try if you can't get somebody out till nobody till Monday. Oh my God, it's going to be freezing. Get yourself down the gym. Okay, this is getting annoying. Video paused. Do you want to continue watching? Stop asking me that. Oh, it needs a part. Ooh. Well, I hope you can stay warm over the weekend. That's not fun. I'd be booking into a hotel, I'm afraid. That would be me going, right, I'm having a mini break. Even if I'm only 200 yards up the road, I'd be going to a B&B. Nope. Gotta go somewhere warm. Freezer snow is the thickest you've seen. The twins will keep you warm. Oh, right, okay. Right. What am I doing here? I'm kind of faffing because it takes me a little while to get into a new journal. I haven't really decided what I want to do with her yet, so I'll put her there. I kind of want to do a front page, but I don't have anything that says February, I don't think. Let me just double check if I have any magazines that are for February. Hi. Oh, hello. Hello there. Hello there, Miss Maggie. How are you doing? What you doing? Get off. You can't help. Stop trying to help. Stop trying to help. Oh, okay. Here we go. This will work. Thank you. Good girl. I know you're trying to help, but let's not. Okay? Boo, move your bum. Good boy. Oh. Well, if all else fails, you can always get your knitting out and make yourself a blanket, right? I have a calendar here that I'm not going to use. But I quite like the illustrations in it. So I thought I could use... See, I like that picture, but I don't want to use it as a calendar. I've got a calendar. I don't like that one. That's the same one, so I've got two of the same picture, so that's cool, because I do like that picture. Look at that cat. Hey, Jess! So February... Yeah, I kind of like that one, but... I like that one. Although I'm not a big fan of yellow, I do like that one. I might scan that one in and change the colours. I love that one. Love that one. Love that one. Adore that one. Yeah, that one's okay. Again, that I might change the colours in that one. I love that one. And that one's okay, I can use that one. So yeah. I don't have any particular attachment to this one. So I think I'll pull that out. Oh my god, every single video it's asking. Every single video it goes, video paused. Do you want to continue watching? It's a playlist. Why are playlists doing... Oh, I can't handle it. I'm sorry, I'm turning it off. We'll have to do without music. I can't be doing with that. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Now that I like. Okay. So let's chop this out. And chop that out. So that leaves... Oh, that means I've got all these flowers. I kind of like the flowers. Some of them. I don't like the way they do people. I don't like this... I don't quite know how to explain it. It's like a flat colour of a... Like before digital images, digital artists do images in like graphic novels and stuff, and they do all the fine tuning. They have what they call a flat layer, who puts in the block colours, and it looks like this. It's literally just that bit's going to be red, that bit's going to be blue, that bit's going to be yellow, and it's just a way of figuring out what the colour scheme is going to be without doing all the detail, and it saves the artist a ton of work and time, mostly. That's what it's about, is time. But I don't like the look of it. I'm a black lines and shading kind of girl. But I do like this. See, this is shaded. I like this. There's more detail on that plant pot than there is on her. That doesn't really... And I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't like that sort of thing. Anyway. So, I hate not having music. Maddie! I think I'm going to have to download a load of music and put it into iTunes to shuffle it. Because I'm relying on playlists that you play off YouTube, because then it gives other creators money, doesn't it? Because you're playing their music. But unfortunately, playlists keep pausing, and it drives me insane. But now it's too quiet, and I don't like it. I don't like working in silence. And it's weird, because in Zoom I have people talking to me when we do classes. Maddie! What are you moaning about? Okay, February. There we go. Or I can put that there. Put that there. That will cover up some of that splotch. And then I've got... I like this quote. So I think I'm going to find a place for that somewhere. Might not be on this page. Maddie, please stop silly whining. You're not going out to play, it's too cold. She can be such a brat when she wants something and I won't let her do it. Okay. It's going to be need to be made smaller to fit on my book. So I take that off there and break that there, then I've got two bits like that. That's better. What are you doing, you whiny moo? You're not going to play in the snow, it's not happening. No, you neither. Go to bed. Go to bed for a bit. Garden and a library have everything you need. I like that. Ooh, that kind of goes with Alice. Painting the roses red. Now, hang on a minute. Hold your horses. I'm doing a page in this side about my Alice book. Okay. That will cover her feet. That I like. Do the puppies go to the park in the snow? They do, but they can only go if I can stand up because I can't walk very well on ice. So I put them on their long lines and I kind of walk over there slowly and let them run about while I stand still. But at the moment it's too cold. Far too cold. I have the balance of Bambi. As soon as it gets icy, everything about me locks up. I can't ice skate, I can't roller skate, none of it. The minute my feet are slippery, I'm like... But I've also got a bad knee, and I've also got a bad shoulder, and if I fall on my bad knee, I can't get up again. So it's basically too dangerous for me to go outside if it's icy. It's not been too bad. I'm literally only across the road from the park, and the main bit is pretty clear. I can get down the steps. As long as I can get down and up my steps and off the steps onto the road past the pavement, I'm okay. Because the road itself and the entrance to the park and the walkway in the park is quite clear. It's just that getting down the steps thing. But the guys upstairs brought some, you know, they put the grit in the boxes at the bottom and top of the hills. The lads went and got a bag of grit and put it all over the steps. So, what do I want? I'm looking for something. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Red. That's what I'm looking for. Red. Okay. So Get rid of as much of this white as I can. Like that. Shh! Stop, please. I'm just going to use my oil pastel around the edge, just so it stands out a bit from the black and white of the background. You need to go potty, Boo. I think he needs to go potty. We're going to have to let him out. I'm going to have to go out at some point. I need to go to the shop. I've run out of coffee. And you can't get an Asda delivery for like 4 days. Because everybody's staying at home and ordering in. There's a little corner shop just down the road. And again, if I can get across the little bit of paving outside the school, I'll be okay, because I'll be able to get across to the shop. But it'd be a bit slippery. And of course, by the time I've done this, it's going to be dark as well, so that'll be fun. I may have to go and ask one of the lads upstairs to walk me across to the shop. Oh. If you gotta go, you gotta go though. You gotta go and get stuff, haven't you? I like that. If you have a garden. God, it's so quiet. It really is busy at the moment with home deliveries, yeah. And the trouble is, they've got half as many delivery slots because it's inclement weather. They can't overbook because they might not be able to get to everybody. So there's twice as many people ordering and half as many people. Yeah, people are panic buying. It's ridiculous. I just want my normal weekly shopping and I can't get it. But all the snow's supposed to be gone by Monday. It's supposed to be back to 8 degrees by Monday. That would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to go out with just one coat on. Okay, this is really fiddly. This is way more fiddly than I would normally do. If I was sitting here on my own doing this, I would have thrown this in the corner in a huff by now and said, oh, sod it, I'm not going to do it. The only reason I'm still doing it is because I'm on camera. There's not enough staff where you work, so you can't pick up as many food shops. Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's twice as many customers, half as many deliveries, and half as many staff because nobody can get in. And then everybody's buying food like they haven't shopped since last October, even though they already did that in December because we had 2 days off for Christmas. I'm okay for food. I always have tins of soup and a big bag of pasta. And with tins of soup and a big bag of pasta, I can last several weeks. It's not an issue. But I need some coffee. I can drink my coffee black if I have to. It's not a problem. I can use up the entire contents of my freezer if I have to. That's not a problem either. But if I run out of coffee, oof, that's it. I mean, everything grinds to a halt if I've got no coffee. How long will your lousy weather stick around? Ours is due to stick around just until Monday. It's quite nice weather as long as you're indoors, not having to go out in it. I like looking out the window at it. It's when I have to go down the shop in it I'm not so happy. when everybody like starts buying food like they're never going to see it again. Wouldn't be so bad if my car was on the road. My car's off at the moment, and my mechanic isn't well, or wasn't well last week, so we didn't get it fixed. And now, of course, everything's closed because nobody can get anywhere. He couldn't get up here anyway. So my car can't go anywhere. I'm all right driving in it. I have no problem driving in this weather at all. But walking in it is actually harder to get to the car most of the time than it is to actually drive in it. I have no problem driving at all. I'm a very confident driver. But my feet do not like to be bambified. If you have a garden and a library, everything you need, you have. Was an ice rink at 4 AM. You get up at 4 AM to go to work. That's madness. Although, that said, I was so cold last night. It got so bitterly cold here. I decided to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Now, this is completely unheard of for me. The only reason I went to bed was because I was so cold. I literally could not get warm, and I didn't want to turn the heating up any higher. So me and the puppies got the hot water bottles going and snuggled up in bed with 2 duvets, and it was nice and warm, and I played with my iPad for a bit. And then I fell asleep. But I fell asleep, like, I don't normally go to bed till about 2 AM. And even if I go to bed, I never go to sleep before about 2 AM. So, of course, I fell asleep really early, woke up at 3 and went, okay, we're not going back to sleep, are we? So I got up and started doing some computer uploading and downloading and tech stuff. I've had to learn to play with Terminal on my Mac. Well, not learn to. I used to have a Linux. It's not hard. It's the same thing. It's a Linux system, or Unix system. But I've had to actually open a terminal and start doing stuff manually because for some reason my Time Machine stopped deleting old files. It's set up to delete after so many days or after so many files, and it stopped doing it, and I ran out of room. So the only option I had was to delete the files and put them in the trash. But of course, the minute you do that, they start getting overwritten, and then you have to manually delete them out of trash because they're security files. So that was fun. So now I'm doing sudo rm stuff to get the files out of the trash because they wouldn't manually delete, or they wouldn't auto delete. I've only got another 45 to go, you know. But now I know to keep a better eye on it because it decided it was going to keep every single Time Machine backup from 2017. Every single one. Yeah, that was fun. Okay. So that can now go in here. Nice little pop of red against all that blue. Plus there's red on here and red on here. So that'll be quite nice. So if I do that as a tip-in, I can put a photo of my book on the back of there. And I can write about my book there. Maybe I'll use my elephants again. Oh, I remember. This tape doesn't stick. So February. What are you having for tea? I'm cold. I need some comfort food. I think I'm going to do... I've got some veg soup. Chunky veg soup and some Aunt Bessie's dumplings, and I'm thinking I might throw some of that all in together. Where do my cards keep disappearing to? Oh, there we go. There it is. prefer that. That's more, that's a story then. You come in from the cold, sit around the fire with your cup of tea. I need to clip this page down. It's not, it keeps bouncing up and it's kind of annoying me. There we go. Yeah, let's do that. Kind of feel like I want to put something behind that. What do I have? Just a bit of colour. That's kind of nice, I like that. Maybe down this corner there. Yeah, that's better. Oh, I like that side too. Oh, now I don't know. Do I want that side? Or do I want that side? Let's do the black. It'll tie in with the black writing better. And then I don't have to mess about with that torn edge either. No, that's not going to overlap that way round. Never mind. That looks better, I like that. So let's put the fire in the middle. Dog hairs everywhere. Stay. Shall I put the doggy there? No, he'll have his nose in the fire. Let's put the doggy down there. Can I do the stitching part live? That's part of my class that I'm doing. So I will be doing some stitching, but those ones will be pre-recorded videos. I don't do tutorials live unless they're for the class because it's just too tiring. People have no idea how much it takes to sit and talk constantly for 2 hours, showing people how to do something, answering questions and everything. It's literally like being in a classroom teaching for 2 hours, and it's a lot. That's why I don't do YouTube on days that I'm teaching. But so I'm not teaching with this, I'm just doing my own thing, and if you guys get something from it, then that's really cool. I don't like the way they're floating like that, so I think I'm going to use, I keep using these because I haven't used them very much. Well, I've used this one, but I haven't used them very much, and I'm trying to use what I can see that I've got out, now that I've got my storage that shows me everything that I've got available to use. That's better. They don't look like they're floating in the middle of nowhere. Sticky glue fingers. Costa's a Portuguese name. Oh, Costa Coffee, you mean? Something looks green on your screen. Your screen needs recalibrating, Di. Okay, so this is for my bits and bobs that I want to use. So where am I? Have I got anything else here? that I want to use. Let's get the waste bin out. My little cauldron waste bin that's supposed to be sat on my desk, but there's not enough room on my desk for my waste bin. So. There you go. I'll perch it there for a minute. Nope. None of those, none of those, none of those. No. No. Also no. No, these are from my other book. Whoops. Dark green and cream. Oh no, it's dark brown and beige. Your your screen needs looking at. No, those are all for the other book. Aha. Here's my little images. I'm done with those. Actually, I've got 2 of those. Do I want to put one of those in my book? Maybe? I'll decide later. Offcuts. Those I'll use if the weather ever warms up. Ugh, come on, get in there. Get in! It's not going to fit, like, by 0.5 millimetre. Don't want to use any of those right now either. That's for Pisces later in the month. Those, I don't know what I want to use them for yet. I just found this. Oh, iPad problem. It's probably just a setting. I kind of like the idea of using that and writing on the books I read. Put that. Ah! Books! Yeah, we're not fussy cutting that handle, that's not happening. The scissors you like better than others? Yeah, I always buy Fiskars, which are the old Wilkinson swords. They're nice and sturdy feeling, and they sharpen really well. All you have to do is get like a metal pie tin or a bit of tin foil, and they sharpen up. Okay. Pretty books and tea. You cut each column for different pages. Well, I was thinking I could actually, if I can find another teacup, I can probably, if I can find 2 more teacups, I can probably cut these in half. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months worth of books, because I doubt that I would read that many books in a month. Although that said, I just finished one this morning, so, but I started that last week. There we go. Because nobody in their right mind is going to sit and fussy cut that handle out. Well, I can think of a few people who probably would actually, but I'm not one of them. Who's crafting along? Oh, it's just a pen. That's okay. Okay. I don't like how stark that looks. So I'm going to grab my thick liner. Just watching. 2 crafting along. Excellent. Another one crafting along. Oh, you're doing your Bujo. Yeah, you said that, didn't you? I'm just going to put outline this. Kind of like it's a illustration, I think. Let's wait for the paint to dry. That'd be a good idea. Oh, somebody left a question on my last video about where am I from. I'm from Hobbit country in the UK. Tolkien area. That's where I live, it's not where I'm from. Originally I'm from down near Stonehenge. Okay, gives that a bit of dimension. Kind of makes it stand out from the background. Have you seen the UFO? Actually, funny story. Because here, UFOs on the understanding that UFOs are not aliens. They might be aliens, they might not be. But the whole point of UFOs is that they are unidentified. Okay? So, me and my dad were driving across Salisbury Plain one day, which is it's West Stonehenge's, and it's known for its military areas. There's RAF bases, there's army bases, you drive around corners and there's chieftain tanks sat in the middle of the road, that kind of thing. We're driving along there one evening and we see this really weird looking thing in the sky. And it looks like if you took a square and you broke it diagonally. And it's got these weird jaggedy bits on the back. And this was like, I want to say, I was still in high school. So it would have been the mid-80s. Somewhere around 85, 86, okay? And we saw this thing, and I saw it, and I didn't know if Dad had seen it. And eventually we both looked at each other and went, "Did you see that?" Yes, I did see that. And I sketched what I saw, and he said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I saw." And it looked like it was like a corner of a square like that, and it literally looked like you'd broken a square like that, and it was totally black. We'd never seen anything like that before, ever. And we both saw it. We both said we saw the same thing at the same time. That's exactly what it turned out to be, Alex. The stealth bomber prototypes that they brought out in the 90s. Because we saw them, they were talking about these things that they had. It was the first test flight, the first official test flight of it, to see, because, you know, they do an official test flight to see maximum speed and fuel usage and all that kind of stuff. And it was the first official test flight. And it's got to have been a good, at least 10 years later. At least, maybe even later than that. And we just happened to both be sat watching TV, and the news came on and they showed this thing, and we both went, "That's what we saw that time!" So yes, for 10 years it was a UFO, and now we know it was obviously a stealth bomber. One of the it must have been one of the very first ones that they flew. Literally, like, the first thing they made to see if it was aerodynamic or something. Because it was 10 years before it went into development. So literally, it must have been the very first one that they'd made, and it probably came out of one of the RAF aircraft hangars that own Salisbury Plain, and they'd literally just taken it out for a test run. It was awesome. But yeah, we've seen all sorts of weird, wonderful things. But when you live near military bases, you pretty much, you know, strange lights in the sky, strange booms, you know, and the military goes, "No, we don't know anything about that." Well, that's normal. It doesn't mean it's aliens, okay? It just means they don't want to tell you what they were up to. But you stop asking questions when you live near a military base. You're like, well, of course they're doing military exercises. Of course they're doing secret stuff. That's kind of what we pay them for, isn't it? The Ministry of Defence is supposed to do that sort of stuff. So why do we get all paranoid and like, "Oh, what is it?" You know, when we suddenly find out that they weren't quite as covert as we thought. It is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. And that must be what it was. I mean, we didn't look at it and go, "Ooh, it's an alien spacecraft." It was just like, if you can imagine back in the 90s, your very first phone. Okay, if somebody had shown you an iPhone at the same time, that's how futuristic it looked. It literally looked like something from the future. It was like something we'd never seen before. It was completely alien in the sense that we'd never seen anything like it before. But obviously, man-made, you know. It's not that I don't believe aliens exist, I just don't think that they've come here. Why would they bother, you know? If they've got the technology to come here, they've got the technology to see what's here. And therefore they'd look and go, yeah, I think we'll give that one a miss. You know? Pagan places and the MOD. Oh yeah, Salisbury Plain's full of ley lines and all sorts. We got Stonehenge, Sudbury, Silbury Hill, Avebury, West Kennet Longbarrow, all sorts. That's why I did archaeology in school, because we had all these crazy things we could go and do, like Roman fortresses and like the Roman baths, all that sort of stuff. Earth's a flyover planet. I don't think it's even that. I think it's like Bognor Regis. I think it's one of those places everybody knows about and nobody ever goes. That's what I think. Right, I think I'm going to use that for my books, and I've got some sticky labels that are slightly more ornate than your average just white sticky labels that I could put on there as if they're the spines of the books. If I could just remember where they are. They're not in here. I'm just looking in here on the off chance. Oh, what about craft paper labels? That would go with the page better. That's a better idea. Okay. Do about there. Let's get my long scissors. Where's your pretty stamp with the swirls? I don't know, I've slept since then. I can't stamp on this colour anyway. Okay, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Alrighty. And there. And there. And there. And that's a super thin one, but we'll give it a try. And let's do it the width of the spines, that seems easiest. And there. I'll leave the bottom one, I don't think I need that many. Very rarely read more than 3 books in a month, so I think we'll be alright. Okay. Ah, fingers have stopped working. scissors, I think. Got Waltzing Matilda going around my head. Who put that there? Okay. What did you think of the binder? I loved it. That's the one I just finished. I had actually finished it last week, but I kind of got a little bit lost towards the end. I knew what had happened, but I couldn't quite follow it. So I went back a little bit to just before, just after the wedding, before they went to the library. I had to go back to that bit and listen to that bit again because I couldn't quite follow it. I think I might have been listening to it when I was falling asleep and I missed a bit. It was really good. Really good. Couldn't put it down. Absolutely loved it. The tension all the way through the beginning. It was so obvious what it was going to be about. I mean, I didn't read it. I don't read synopsis and stuff. I looked at the book and went, "Oh, that's a pretty book." And it said it was about... I don't give spoilers. Be quiet. I looked at what it was about, and it said it was about a boy who learns to bind books, and it's all to do with magic and stuff. And I thought, oh, that sounds cool. But I didn't know the actual story. Yeah, the first bit is a bit weird. The first bit doesn't really tell you what the story's about. If you pick up on the tension in the story, then you get it. But I missed that until... When did I... Somebody comes to get a binding, and I picked up on what was going on, but I didn't really pick up on what was going on, if you get my drift. How can I say it without giving anything away? Well, it says, anyway, so this guy turns up for a binding and he recognises the boy that the book's about. And I missed the significance of that. I realised that they knew each other, but it wasn't until he ended up leaving there to go somewhere else that I twigged. When they were clearing out the books, when What's-His-Face turned up and they were clearing out the books to move to the other place, that's when I twigged the significance of the other person's book. And that's when I realised what the book was actually about. And at that point, I was like, oh, I get it. And then I could see all the tension. Because until you understand what a book's really about... Yes, the nasty brother. Well, it wasn't the brother, was it? It was the son. It was her son, wasn't it? Not the brother. Because he changed his name, didn't he? I'm sure it's the brother. No, not the brother. Oh, no, not the old woman's son. Because he says, you might think that my mother loved you, but she didn't, and I know that because she never loved anybody, and I know that because I'm her son. He changed his name. to make it sound like he was more important than he was. A horrible man, horrible man. But also, by the end of it, you know, by the time I met that other nasty piece of work, the posh nasty piece of work, by the time I came across him and I realised how they were all double dealing each other, I actually felt sorry for him. He'd got himself way in over his head in something that he really didn't understand. And he thought he was playing the system, and in actual fact, he was the one being played, and he didn't know. And I felt quite sorry for him at that point. But, yeah, really good book. Had no idea what it was about until I realised the significance of the other book. And then when I realised, I was like, oh, I get it. I know what it's about. And then the flashback happened. And I expected it to go this way. And it went whoosh over there. And I was like, but, excuse me, but that can't happen. No. So, but yeah, I had to go back and read the end of it again. I think I wasn't paying attention the first time. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to put... Where's my pen? We're not telling you anything that would give away anything. When you read it and you get there, you'll go, oh, that's what they meant. I don't give spoilers. I always say things in such a way that you would have no idea until you actually got there, and then you'd go, oh, I get it. Which is how I was with the book. I didn't get it for a while, and then I suddenly figured it out, and then the flashback happened, and I was like, oh, hang on, this doesn't fit with what I've just figured out. No, it can't happen like this, no! Were you like that, Di? Right up until the end I was like, no, but you can't, because, no! That's not what's supposed to happen, no! I did feel sorry for the girl at the end. Honor? Faith? Whatever her name was. I felt sorry for her. That's always a bit of a naff thing to have happen, obviously. But it was the right thing. So you have to weigh up the right thing with she didn't deserve it. No, she didn't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. But it was the right thing. She wouldn't have been happy anyway. He wouldn't have been happy. They wouldn't have been happy. Anyway, read it. It's really good. Everybody go read it. Oh, the binding's amazing. The cover of the book is amazing. It actually looks like you imagine the binding books to look like. Really clever done. Really cleverly done. And it was so well written. That's the thing. It's so lyrical. Just so easy to follow. And I mean, it's a young adult book, but it didn't feel like a young adult book. It didn't feel like... Quite often they feel like they're dumbed down a bit, but it didn't feel like that. It just felt like it was just easy to follow. I don't know. It's very lyrical. Very lyrical. I loved it. I'm going to pull out a few more of her. I'm going to pull out some more of her book. I've got Uprooted next. Naomi Novik, 17 hours of Russian fantasy fairy tale modernised. That should keep me going for a while. A few days at least. I don't know why my pen suddenly decided to blot. What's that about? Oh, it's dripping all over the place. What's going on? Oh. Oh, it's broken. It's broken. The thing is borked. My favourite pen! No! Oh, technically I could still use it, but no, I can't really. No, I could. I can still write with it. But it's just going to get worse, isn't it? Yeah, she's written a lot of books. I'm going to see if any of her others are... I didn't want it to finish. 17 hours of Russian fairy tale. Yeah, it does sound a bit heavy, but it's been modernised, so I think it'll be alright. I like Russian fairy tales anyway. They're always a bit nasty. They're always like the original Grimm's fairy tales. Yeah, it's where I cracked it about a few weeks ago. It's obviously, well, not even a few weeks. Back in the summer when I first bought it, it cracked. But it's nearly out of ink anyway, so I might be able to struggle on with it for another day just to finish up the ink. It is completely broken. There's only that bit left that's holding it on. But I think I can probably, if I hold it right. Okay, so that one's finished. I finished that one on the 31st of January, technically. So it's not technically this month's book. Whoops. But it is this month's book, so. So Uprooted. Naomi Novik. First, oh God, I can't write dates today. 1st of the 2nd through 2, and then I'll put the date that I finished it. You've read Uprooted. In the US, they're marketing it as her first non-young adult book. Yeah, they would. They wouldn't want to offend anybody's sensibilities, would they? Can't say any more without giving away. But it's the kind of young adult book that it's perfectly normal in the UK to have a young adult book like that. But it's like the Wicker series here. We've got a series by Kate somebody. I don't know. I can't remember what the book's names are, but it's basically called the Wicker series. And it's young adult fiction. It's aimed at 14, 15-year-old girls. Maybe a bit younger, maybe a bit older. You know, it's normal teen fiction. Kate Tiernan, thank you, that's her name. And they're really good books. They're easy reading for adults, but they're, yes, the Sweep series. They're easy reading for adults, but they're nice stories. But they're also full of all the teenage angst and, oh, isn't he handsome? And all that crap. Which is funny when you're reading it as an adult. I find it entertaining. But it's not overly done. It's more about Wicca and being part of a coven than it is about teenage love and all that. But in the US, again, they're marketed as non-young adult books because, oh, we can't have impressionable teenagers reading about witchcraft. You know, because the devil's real. And witches are real and magic is real and, you know, it's all evil. Middle America wouldn't like it. I think that's why it's being marketed as a non-young adult book, because it is. It's about two teenagers. Of course it's a young adult book. It's like Harry Potter. It's similar to Harry Potter, but with a different... Yeah, it wasn't Harry Potter. Harry Potter was teen books here. teens and tweens. They were 10 and 12 were reading it here, because that's the age Harry was when he started school. First year secondary school. But in the US, oh, we can't have them listening about witchcraft stuff. Whoa. Oh dear. I think it's funny. Hear the amount of crap they come out about witchcraft and things, and you think, which of us is actually a bit crazy? Grew up on Harry Potter. Oh God, I was in my 20s when I read Harry Potter. The binding feels young adult to me. It is young adult. It's young adult in the UK. I feel like this needs like a text here, like a quote or something. So I might see if I can jiggery something together on my iPad later and print it out for here. I want to play with some digital stuff, so I think that would be cool. Okay. Harry Potter is middle reader 8 till 12. Yeah. It is now. When it first came out, they were like, oh, we don't want them listening to all this witchy stuff. Whoa. And then Ron said, bloody hell. And that was it. They were like, no. We've relented on the witchy stuff, but you can't swear. No, binding is definitely young adult. Definitely. But it was beautifully written. I'd want to read some more of her stuff, I think. Right, okay, where am I up to now? I don't feel like I've done very much. I like this for February. I do feel like it needs a quote or something there, so I might see if I can do a quote and print it out on vellum to go there. That'd be kind of cool. I like young adult stuff too, yeah. It's not very taxing on the brain. There's not too many characters. There's usually a pretty easy, here's the main storyline, and here's two other storylines that are going to mix in between it. So it's nice and easy to follow. Some adult books are just too complicated. I'm like, I want easy listening, okay? I don't want... If I wanted to read War and Peace, I would have done it by now. I just want something that's enjoyable, that when you get to the end you go, oh, that was a really good book, I enjoyed that. And I did. I actually didn't want it to end. It's the first book in ages that I got to the end and I thought, oh, I wish there was a second one. Hi, baby. Hello, Miss Maddie. How you doing? Hi there. How you do? Game of Thrones? No. I'm not really into those kind of books. I didn't like the books before the TV show came out, and then the TV show came out. I was like, no, I'm definitely not into it now. I quite like the Robert Jordan ones, The Wheel of Time. They're quite good. Yeah. Lord of the Rings was a nightmare. I read it when I was about 15. I read The Hobbit much earlier, and I liked The Hobbit because basically there was a hobbit, there was a wizard, there was a dragon, and everybody else was dwarves, and it didn't really matter who was who. Will you stop? Be naughty. As long as you knew that one of the dwarves was in charge, The Hobbit was quite easy to follow. But Lord of the Rings, oh my God. I had so many... I couldn't follow it. I had to write down who was who and, like, make maps and... An Irish quote about St. Bridget. Yeah, well, she's kind of... Will you stop? Stop, you're being a brat. Enough. No. Stop it. She's kind of very St. You read it in English? Oh, are you another one of the Dutch girls? Chloe. You're very smart. Hello. They're very smart. Oh, Portuguese. Ah, okay. I watched Game of Thrones up to the bit where Daenerys, the bloke she was going to marry, turned up and they started fighting each other, and there's something about cutting each other's hair off or something. And by that point I was bored. I was bored to tears. I think I made it through maybe 2 episodes. I didn't make it to the end of that episode. So I either watched 1.5 or 2.5 episodes, and then that was it. I was like, no. We're done. Yeah, she's a bit St. Bridget-like. I like her. So I think this might be my St. Bridget style page, because I really like this. I think it's very, kind of looks like something she would have worn, maybe. That kind of flame-like. Yeah, I like it. Oh, her sequins are coming off here. I'm gonna have to put some glue on there. The sequins are coming off. Don't you start now as well. I want to find some gold braid to go across here to match this, to go with the fiery theme. Now it's going to be Imolk. So then this is the 1st of February. So this is for today. True Blood. Nah, didn't watch all of that either. Got bored with it. There's very few of the popular series that everybody watches that I actually end up watching, because I don't like serials. I like serials that have got an overarching story. Like, I was quite into Supernatural for about 2 seasons, because there was like individual episodes, but there's an arcing story. So it was a bit like, I called it Buffy the Vampire Slayer for boys, because that's what it felt like. But then it got too complicated. And I had the same problem with that vampire series with Nina Dobrev. I really enjoyed that, and then suddenly it got really complicated, and I was like, no, I don't understand. It's complicated enough when you have several characters who are very alike. When you have the same actress playing 2 different characters at 4 different points in history, I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done now. Looked at the January journal prompts and saw there were February ones. There are the junk journal ones, yeah. They've done junk journal January, and then Mia Vibes is doing a different one for February. I think it's Feel Good February, is it? And they're not my kind of prompts. So I might do the junk journal ones. Yeah, the doppelgangers. I liked the idea of the doppelgangers. I liked the idea of it. It made sense. And I kind of liked it when they were both there in modern times. I found that interesting. And they were so different, it was very easy to tell them apart. It was like just like having twins in a series, but they're very different characters. But then they had Catherine before, and then Catherine after in the past, and then Alina, and then Catherine now, but she wasn't the same as she had been then, and she was more like Nina, and I'm like, no, don't get it. He's Aspin, he gets so fed up with it. Yeah, it's not that I don't enjoy it when it's complicated, it's just that I can't follow it. And I don't, And then they soul swapped and it got even more confusing, yes. Just when I thought I'd got the handle on original human Catherine, and then vampire Catherine before, and then vampire Catherine after, and vampire Catherine now, and Alina, they soul swapped, and they were different people that weren't the people that they started as, and then I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't watch anymore. I just couldn't follow it at that point. Which is a shame, because I really enjoyed it. And I loved Bonnie. I thought she was fabulous. I might try the originals, because I think the originals I might be able to follow. Yeah, and then she became a vampire as well. Yeah, and then they soul swapped back. And then for a while you didn't know who was who, and I think at one point they didn't either. I'm like, ah! I did enjoy it. I saw up to where Jonathan changed. So I did get a good way into it before I had to give up. It was the same with Supernatural. I enjoyed it when it was just a story about the two brothers and how they were trying to follow what their dad was doing, and they just came across all this weird stuff. That I was fine with. If it had been 8 seasons of that, I've been perfectly happy. But once John wasn't in it anymore, and then it got really complicated and I couldn't follow what was going on. And Lost, well, don't even get me started on Lost, because I didn't understand that right from the beginning. So I was like, Lost, you will be. What am I going to do with this page? I don't know what I'm going to do with this page. I need to cover that bit up. What do I have? What's in this magazine that I can use? Oh, I have that. You couldn't follow Lost either, yeah. And they died so many times. Yeah. And then they all went to hell and back again in a handbasket, and some of them went in 2s, and some of them went twice. I think the writers get to the point where they start being overly ambitious. And they're like, oh, we've been writing about this for 3 seasons and it's getting boring now. What can we throw in to make it interesting? And I'm like, no, just... You've had 3 seasons of success. Just stick with the formula, please. Buffy managed it. Angel managed it, although Angel went a bit off the rails as well at one point. I want to use her. I think she'll be kind of cool in my book section. Oops, sorry. By the end of Lost, you were really confused. Dude, I didn't even get past the first episode and I was confused. I didn't understand. Castile. Yeah, I like the characters in Supernatural. I just can't follow the story. The end of Lost was crap. Well, the beginning of it was pretty bad. I always got the feeling with Lost that one day it'd just be like, and then they woke up and it was all a dream. And the minute I get that kind of feel from a TV show, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Bye. Yeah, I think this would be kind of cool in here. Maybe as a fold out. Knots on the back, nothing particularly. Oh, I could write on that, see? I can write over that. So maybe I can... Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So if I... take that bit. What's on the other side? Oh, that looks quite good with that actually. It covers up that bit. Covers up that boring corner. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Glue. Where did my glue go? There it is. Stargate. I'm not into sci-fi at all. Although that one was kind of semi-historical, almost. It was okay to watch kind of an episode every so often. But see, I quite like series like that, where you can just watch an episode. You don't have to watch the entire series to understand what's going on. Yeah, there'll be some things that you don't quite follow, but you don't have to watch the entire series to catch one episode and go, oh, I quite enjoyed that, you know. Okay. Serial killer stuff. Ah, you're like me. You like me, Di. I like serial killer stuff. I like Criminal Minds. But again, Criminal Minds has a story arc for the season, but you can watch individual episodes without knowing anything else about what's going on. I love that. I want to watch the Ted Bundy one. The one with Zac Efron. Oh yeah, you're definitely a murderino, Di. I kind of like that. It goes. It's the same colours as the books. I can write on that bit. Maybe it needs a pulley bit on the bottom. So what if I use this? Yeah. Let's use that. Dexter. Dexter wasn't real. I like true crime. I don't like stuff that's made up. I like the premise of it. It was kind of cool, but I think they jumped the shark a bit towards the end. I'm definitely more into true crime than... There, that's better. Now I've got a little tab on it, so I can grab the little tab and open it up. Makes it a bit easier to use. I like that. I can write in there. I'm going to put these in my scrap box because I'm going to be able to use... Oh, it's about bookstagrammers apparently. Listicle. Great stuff presented wholly or partially in the form of a list. Huh, that's kind of cool. Hold on a minute. Nope, must be on the other desk. Somewhere over here. Bum ba dum. Dum da dum. Where are you at, Mr. Hole Punch? Where are you at, Mr. Hole Punch? Where'd you go? Nope. Maybe he's not over there. Okay. Guess we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way then. That's a shame, because I've got a hole punch exactly that size. I just can't see it. I need to tidy up just for a change. Hello there, Miss Maddie. What you doing? Where am I going to put that? I might put it there, because that'll be a bullet journal page. So actually, if I put it there, no, I'll put it there, because I tend to use this side of my bullet journal pages and then have gaps down this side. So I'll put it there. Interesting bit of junk. Downton Abbey. I don't have a TV, so if it's not on Netflix, it definitely doesn't happen. But if it's not, you know, I would rather listen to yet another series of the Forensic Files, or go back to the beginning and listen to the Forensic Files all over again, than watch something new that I can't follow. I have a tendency to watch the same film over and over and over and over again. The 100. Joe Kender! I love Joe Kender. I adore Joe Kender. Have you read his autobiography? His autobiography is brilliant. It's so funny. And he talks about, because like in the series he only talks about the cases, but in the book he actually talks about his family, and he says things like, and that was the first day I talked to my wife, the love of my life, Mary. Most days we're still talking to each other. He's so funny. The husband came in and gave his statement. The husband was adamant that his wife had committed suicide. However, we didn't believe him. Shooting yourself twice in the back of the head is not a common form of suicide. We had our doubts about his testimony. He's hilarious. Oh, I love Joe. Hannibal. No, I didn't watch that. Okay, so I've done 2 pages, but I haven't done a page for today, really. I've just done pages. But that's what I do, so I'm okay with that, I think. This could do with a bit of brightening up. Just a little bit. I've got to write in all my appointments and classes and stuff in there. Can colour that in later. That's for Imolk. Oh, I remember. I was going to put another page near the front somewhere, because that is too late. Oh, I've got one there. Hang on. So do I need another one? Maybe I don't need another one. My bullet journal list. I need a bullet journal list, and I need one nearer the front, because that's far too far in. Because I've got my list written on a piece of paper at the moment, because I didn't have this one with me earlier. Maybe I use this for my bullet journal. Where is that bit of paper I had that I put separate? Here she is. Huh? See, I don't want it to cover. I don't want it to cover my calendars. But I need it before that. I don't want to cover that rose up. Let's stick with it that way. That'll be my bullet journal for today. Like that as a header somewhere. Okay, so if that's Friday, maybe Saturday. And then we've got Monday. Yeah, that works, I think. Yes. I think I might put a bit of lace across there. I've got some rosette type lace that would look cool there. And then I don't necessarily need to put anything there. The thing about junk journaling I'm learning is that it's very easy to spread out in a junk journal. You suddenly have sections like this where you don't necessarily feel like you have to put something there because, look, there's something already there, you know? I might use that, perhaps put a bit of lace across there, and then this here, because that has got snow. Well, it kind of looks like snow to me. So I'll put a bit of pink lace across there that'll help hide that bit where it's stained, and I'll put that there, and then I'll do some more snow coming down. That'd be quite cute. I like that. So obviously I can't do that until I've stuck that'd be cute on there. No. Keep that for another time. That's a blank piece of paper. Those can go in my oh, I don't need those in there. Those can go in my tuck. Oh, that's too wide. Okay, let's fold that where we're probably going to cut it anyway. There we go. Bits. That's for the next one. Actually, let's put those in, and then I can put my turn that into a journal. Okay. I did this for January, which is my page marker. And I've got another one for February. So, oh, and I put a bit of, because these are actually going to be signatures in a bigger book. So I put a bit of lace and some eyelash yarn, because it's sparkly. I don't know if you can see that, but the eyelash yarn is sparkly. It's got Lurex thread in it. I thought this was blue when I put it down, but it would appear to be mint green, but never mind. It kind of goes with that anyway, and it kind of looks snowy like. So, and then I've got this I've got one of these for February. And what I thought was, instead of doing my goals list in my book, I could do my goals on the back of here, so that I've got it all month. So let's pop that in there, because that's where I'm up to with January. And then we've got February. That needs something there. It could do with some more of that fabric on there, I reckon. That'd be awesome. I love this fabric. And it'd go really well with that picture. Maybe put some fabric across there. Or even do it different and put it down here or something. Because these are going to be signatures in a book. So these are like title pages rather than covers. So I didn't really need to do this. I could have done it on the front, but never mind. So I'm happy with that. That needs a quote there. That I'm going to put some lace and put that there. That needs filling in later. I can colour that in later. That's for Imolk. That's for Bridget. And that's for Monday. Cool. Made headway with that. Now I can go sit at my other desk and do some on January. Because it's Friday night. And we know what Friday night is, don't we? We know what Friday night is, don't we, boys and girls? So it's better with 2 signatures in at the moment. I think once I'm finished January, I can take January out and have February and March. But at the moment, February's not too chunky yet, so we're all right. Pizza and scary movie night, that's correct. Some are having pizza, that's right. Pizza, scary movies, puppy snuggles, playing in a journal. Because that's what we do. Seafood pizza, ew. 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 No, that's not pizza, that's Franken pizza. I'm a purist when it comes to my pizza. I like a garlic margarita. Yeah, it's dark out now. So I think what I'll do is wait till the morning. At least it'll be light. No, I don't do seafood. Fish. Fish should not be on pizza. No. And really, unless you're having like ham and pineapple pizza or pepperoni pizza, Meat has no place on a pizza either. Cheese needs to be on pizza, exactly. I'm a garlic margarita girl. And I do like the occasional pepperoni and pineapple, but I have to be in the mood for... I don't eat a lot of meat, so I have to be in the mood for it. I have to be craving it. Broccoli absolutely should not be on pizza, Rachel. That is not pizza. That thing you brought here was not pizza. It had broccoli, cauliflower, and olives. I mean, seriously? That's not pizza. No. It's far too healthy to be pizza, exactly. Take it all off the pizza and have it with mashed potato. Perfect. Oh no, there's no excuse for olives. It's been over a year since you ate pizza. I think you should go for it, Mika. We're doing pizza tonight because that's what we do on a Friday. We're pretty healthy most of the rest of the week, but Friday night is pizza and scary movie night. And that's all there is to it. Plus, the groceries didn't come, so I've got no food in the house anyway. I do like some curries. I love southern Indian food. Masala dosas and all those, Kobe Manchurian, absolutely love that kind of stuff. The general kind of Pakistani curries made for English people is not my kind of thing. But a good curry made by actual Indian people who make it taste good and not just like... There's an awful lot of curries that just taste like stew on rice with lots of cumin in it, and that's not curry. I like Thai curry. Thai curry is amazing. Oh, Dawn! You have managed another live video, but guess what? I'm just about to stop. But on the plus side, you've got 2.5 hours of not live to watch. Thanks for coming, though. Sorry. I'm just packing up. 4 o'clock on Wednesday and Friday, I do. And I've got to go and sort my pen out now. What am I going to do about my pen? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll take... Because I got this one at the same time, but I haven't used it yet. So what I'll do is I'll take the filler out of this one and put it in that one, because this has got the same nib, so it's basically the same pen, it's just not as chunky, so it's not quite as easy to hold, but it is basically the same pen. So I'll use that. And my baby is going to go in the bin. But it only cost me £1.84, so I think I'm okay. I'll just pick up another one on eBay. Ugh. No. You're all crazy. Bye-bye, pen. It was nice playing with you. Now I've got another one of these spare. I've still got my orange one as well, which has got the same nib in it as well. Has this got ink in it as well? I don't know. Oh no, this one isn't inked. Okay. That's fine. I like this one, but it doesn't fit in there. And every time you touch this, it sploots ink out. So it's really got to be kept separate. So I use that for sketching because it holds loads of ink. All of this fills up with ink. So I use that when I'm drawing so I don't run out of ink, which is really handy. Well, I'll just use this one for now. That's okay. It'll work. Thanks for joining me, and I will be back class tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Come and sew with us. Yes, you can still sign up if you want to. In fact, for those of you who were waiting for Patreon, today is Patreon day, the 1st. So if you sign up on Patreon today, you get the month. But you still have to sign up on Ning, so you might as well sign up on Ning because it's easier. And I'll be back here on Wednesday. And that's it. Have fun. Don't get cold. Don't go out in the snow unless you absolutely have to. And I shall see you back here soon. Hope you get your boiler sorted, Di. Stay warm. Bye, guys.